सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। ॐ हयग्रीवाय नमः। ॐ श्री वल्लभा समेत श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः। We were in the topic dvaitaamithyatva-upapattih, how dvaitaamithyatvam is proper or tenable. That's what we are discussing. In this context, already we had given Vyavartamanatvam as a hetu for Dvaita Mithyatvam. And here, what is this? Vyavartamanatvam means something which is changing, you can say, or something which can be replaced by another thing. Change, replacement, distinctness or separateness also you can say, all these meanings. So, whatever is changing is getting replaced by something else is also distinct and separate from something else. And that being the case, it is not real. Whatever is always there invariably, that alone is Satyam for us. Or in another way you look at it, whatever can be never negated. Okay. Because we are, this replacement or getting or change itself is looked upon as a negation of its Swarupa. So the Swarupa or one's nature, once determined, should never change. It should be always the same. It can never be negated. That is our definition of Satyam also. So in this context, it was argued that the world as a whole, if you look at it, cannot be negated. Then we said that no, this world can still be looked upon as something different from the previous world which Ishvara created and all that. Right? And then even when we said that, then the Purva Pakshi was arguing that the Maya doesn't change, world may change, but Maya doesn't change. But even that we do not accept, because Maya is also samskara. But then Purva Pakshi argued that samskara can be considered as part of the world, and still Kevala Maya does not change. It is the same, and therefore that will become Satyam according to your definition, and therefore it will be Dvaita. Now that Kevala Maya also we don't accept, because there is no Kevala Maya really. Maya itself is not there, actually speaking. Only the samskaras are Maya really. Therefore we don't accept the Maya other than the samskaras. But what about the first Maya before any samskaras were formed and all that? This kind of question also was asked. There is no first Maya or anything. It is Anadi. That's why we say it is Anadi. So this Maya itself is Mithya, and all its Maya Karya also is Mithya. So in this context, anything which is separate from something else can be called as Mithya. Bhinnatvam is the hetu we are giving. Vyavartamanatvam, Bhinnatvam and all we can give the hetu. It is similar actually. But some people give Brahma Bhinnatvam as the hetu. Okay. Why? Because the one more argument which the Purva Pakshi gave is what? If you say Bhinnatvam is the hetu, then Brahman, whether it is Bhinna from the world or it is Abhinna from the world was the question. If you say it is Brahman is Abhinnam from the world, then world Swarupa or world being Mithya, Brahman also will become Mithya. This is their argument. But if you say Brahman is Bhinnam, Bhinnatvam is there in Brahman itself. Therefore, Brahman again will become Mithya. This kind of an argument only we started this section with. So if you say Brahma Bhinnatvam is the hetu, Brahman itself cannot have Brahma Bhinnatvam. Therefore, it is Satyam. This is also one way of putting it. But in reality, what we say is Bhinnatvam alone can be the Mithyatva Prayojakam. That's how we finished the last class. Because even when we say Brahma Bhinnatvam, what we really mean is Brahman is the Swarupa. Any Mithya appearance, its Swarupa is whatever is the Adhisthana, correct? Adhisthana Ananyatvam is what we are talking about. Even the Mithya appearance Swarupa is the Adhisthana, and Brahman being the Adhisthana for the Jagad Adhyasa. Even though we say Brahma Bhinnatvam, it is really Brahma Abhinnatvam only we are talking about, because Brahman itself is the Swarupa. So once we say this, the next set of arguments are starting now. What they are saying is, if you say this Brahma Bhinnatvam is really Swarupa Kathanam, okay, then it is Parinamavada they are saying, okay, because any Karya Swarupa is Karana, if we say, that Karana is the Upadana Karana, and Upadana Karana undergoes a Parinama, a change, a modification. Even although we say Mrid Ghata, even in that the Mrid undergoes some Swarupa change, because it becomes harder and all that, you let us say, okay. So you burn it, then only it is really Ghata. So there is some Parinama is there. So Nanu Parinamavade Bhavati Evam Sarvasya Brahma Bhinnatvam Mrid Abhinnatvam Iva Ghatadehe. Here I think actually it should be Brahma Abhinnatvam. Cannot be Brahma Bhinnatvam, because he is saying Mrid Abhinnatvam Iva Ghatadehe. Because the Swarupa Kathanam, once we said, now the Purva Pakshi is taking it as Brahma Abhinnam. If you say Jagat is Brahma Abhinnam, then the problem will come for you, because Brahman being the Jagat Upadana Karana, like Ghata as Mrit as the Upadana Karana. Then there Mrit Parinama is there, and then only Ghata comes. Or Parinamavada means typically we give milk becoming curd and all that, which is easier to consider. Then Brahman also will become Parinami. Okay. So he is saying Sachana Yuktaha Brahmanaha Parinamitve Sati Vikaritva Apattehe iti che ma evam. So that is not proper. Why? Then Brahman will become a Parinami, or that which undergoes change. Then that means it is variable, it is changing. Vikaritvam will come, and therefore Brahman will become Anitya. So then what we say? Ajnana Dwara Brahma Jagad Rupena Parinamate iti Abhibhagama. So if you say that, it's not in that manner. Why? Because Brahman becoming world and all is only due to Ajnana. Ajnana Dwara Brahma Jagad Rupena Parinamate. Even Ajnana here means Maya also we have to take. We don't, in the Siddhanta, most of the people do not consider Maya and Ajnana as different, because we don't have to unnecessarily propose another entity, because both are looked upon as something which is avyakta. Okay. And in the avyakta or unmanifest, you don't have to find differences, or two different unmanifest is not required. One is from the Vyakti standpoint, another is from the Samashti standpoint. Therefore, we don't really propose two different entities as Ajnana and Maya. One is good enough to explain everything. So here Ajnana Dwara means Maya also. Maya only we have to understand. Jagad Rupena Parinamate. So what we say is it is only Maya. Whatever the Parinama is not real Parinama. When we say it is Ajnana Dwara or Maya, what we are saying is it is simply not proper, it is not really a real change. Okay. So etena vivartavade sarvasya brahma innatvam yata rajoho bhinnaha sarpaha. So in the vivartavada, since Brahman does not really change, whatever is changing, in one way you can say it is other than Brahman. Okay. So, etene, because of this, what he is saying, Vivartavada, in the Vivartavada, that everything other than Brahman is really changing and therefore they are not really Brahman. Like even the Rajju Sarpa is not Rajju, correct? So, Rajoho, Innaha, Sarpaha. So, therefore there is no problem. And Tanmata Rityatu, Jagadado, Bhinnatvam, Sutam Padameva. So, according to this explanation where we give Brahma Bhinnatvam as the Mithyatva Hetu, the Jagad etc. being other than Brahman is not a problem. And Brahma Bhinnatvam itself cannot be there for Brahman itself. Therefore, also there is no problem. It does not extend into Brahman, correct? Only if you generally say Bhinnatvam, they say that it extends to Brahman. Now we can even take it as Brahma Bhinnatvam, there is no problem. So, Nacha Tada Jagataha api Bhinnatvam Brahmanasyaditi Hetoho Brahmani Anaikantyam iti Vachyam. So, now that's what he is now addressing the other point. If you say that Jagat is other than Brahman, then Brahman also will become other than the Jagat. That means that Bhinnatvam will extend, or Anaikantyam means it is not only for Jagat, it will extend into Brahman also. You can't say that. Why? Atayeva Asmin Pakshe Brahma Bhinnatvam Mithyatva Prayojakam. So if you say that Jagat is other than Brahman, there the Mithyatva Prayojaka or Hetu, the reason which we give for establishing the Mithyatvam of world is Brahma Bhinnatvam. So when you say Brahma Bhinnatvam, there is no problem because Brahma Bhinnatvam cannot be there for Brahman. So he is further saying that Na Kevalam Bhinnatvam iti Bodhyam. So it is not just distinctness or separateness or difference, but something which is other than Brahman, we say. Correct? Anything other than Brahman, which is the world, is all Mithya. Brahman itself cannot be other than Brahman. Therefore, Brahman is Satyam. There is no problem. Okay. Once we say this what? Nanu Brahma Bhinnatva Hetoho Asambhavaha Eva. He is saying Brahma Bhinnatva Hetu itself is not possible. Okay. Why? Kalpitasya Adhisthana Anatirekena Brahma Bhinnatva Abhavat Jagati iti. So his reasoning is what? Whatever is Kalpita, like a snake on the rope, it is not separate from the Adhisthana. Okay. It cannot be separately looked upon as having some existence other than the existence of the locus where it is appearing. Adhisthana anatirekena Brahma bhinnatva abhava. Therefore, it is not separate from Brahman, and therefore Jagat, with reference to the Jagat also, you cannot talk about Brahma bhinnatva. Because if you say Jagat is adhyastha, one Brahman, it has to be looked upon as bhinna only. So now they are arguing for the other paksha. Okay, then what? Even if you say that, we have no problem. Okay, iti chet ma evam. It's not like your conclusions are not correct. Why? Kim kalpitasya adhisthana anatirekitvam adhisthana atirikta satta abhavatvam yadva adhisthana atirikta swarupa abhavatvam. Okay, now we are asking a question. You are saying this kalpita is not separate from the adhisthana. Fine. On what basis you are saying? Are you saying that the kalpita or whatever is appearing, correct? The appearance doesn't have an existence other than the locus, correct? Adhisthana anatirikta satta abhavatvam means what? It doesn't have an existence which is other than the existence of the locus. Or what? It doesn't have a swarupa or nature which is other than the locus. In what way you are talking about this anatirekatvam? Okay, it's non-separateness. How are you defining this non-separateness between the the superimposed and the locus. Okay, how do you say that? Adhyaha ishtaha eva. So whatever is the first option, when you say that the adhyastha vastu does not have an existence other than the locus, is ishta, is desirable for us, we also say that. Okay, the adhisthana satta alone is also the satta of the adhyastha vastu. Kalpitasya adhisthana satta atirikta satta anangikara. So we also don't accept that. It is ishta for us, no problem. The existence of the locus or the substratum and all, they say some people. Somehow I don't have a ruchi for the word substratum. I prefer locus is better, I think. Anyway, so adhisthana satta atirikta satta anangikara, we also don't accept that. It is ishtam for us. The dvitiya option is what? Then you say, no, the very swarupa of the adhyastha is the adhisthana alone. It doesn't have a swarupa or a nature other than that. Means there also we ask a question, what dvitiye kim kalpitasya adhisthana swarupa atirikta satya swarupa bhavaha yadva adhisthana swarupa atirikta asatya swarupa bhavaha. So the swarupa you are talking about, it is not there. Are you talking about a satya swarupa or satya swarupa? Means mithya swarupa, basically that which is not satya. Again, if you say that the adhisthana swarupa alone is the real swarupa for us also, and the adhyastha doesn't have a nature or a swarupa in reality other than the swarupa of the adhyastha, if you say, that is also ishtaha for us. Because adhisthana alone is satyam for us. So adhyaha ishtaha eva kalpitasya kalpitatvad satya swarupa bhavaha iti. Because it is kalpita, it is only an appearance. Okay, and whatever is appearing without being there in reality, it doesn't have a real nature or anything, correct? Because of being kalpita only. Because it is just an appearance without any reality. But the second also is not there, you cannot say. Asatya, no, so na dvitiyaha, why? Asatya swarupa bhave kalpitasya kalpitatvasya eva bhavaha iti. If it doesn't have even mithya swarupa or whatever, a false nature has to be there. That is why it is really false appearance. Therefore, second part is fine. It is having a false swarupa, but in reality, its swarupa is the adhisthana alone. So, whichever way you look at it, even if you say it is Brahma Abhinna, we have no problem. Whether it is Brahma Bhinna or Brahma Abhinna, both ways, the Siddhanta is not affected in any way. We can explain it away easily. Therefore, what tasmat Brahma Bhinnatvam Mithyatva Prayojakam eva. So, Brahma Bhinnatvam is Mithyatva Prayojaka. Even if we take Brahma Bhinnatvam, instead of Kevala Bhinnatvam, we can take Brahma Bhinnatvam. That way, it is easier to ward off all this, whatever objections you may have. And therefore, what Tad Brahmani Sambhavati iti Brahma Satyam, and Brahma Bhinnatvam cannot be there in Brahman itself. It cannot be other than itself. Therefore, it is not possible in Brahman. So Brahman remains Satyam, everything is fine. So Atayeva Atonyadhartam iti Shrutihi Upapadyate. So this is the Brihadaranyaka Shruti. Atonyadhartam. See, Artha, the word generally we use for somebody who is distressed, afflicted, unhappy, and all that. Correct? Artha Bhakta also is there in Gita. So here Artha also means something which is changing, which is Alpa, and in that sense. Okay. And which is mithya really. Mithyatvam only is conveyed by the word artham. Okay. Brahman alone is Ananda Swarupa also. It is Ananta and Ananda. Artha literally means that. So here the Purva Pakshi takes the word Artha. And now they are arguing with that. So nanu tatra artha shabdasya na mithyatvam arthaha. So now they are saying this artha shabda, you people are giving the meaning of vidya. That is not correct. Okay. Now what is the meaning of artha then? Kintu badhitatvam. So they are saying badhitatvam is the meaning of artha, not mithyatva. In fact, this is also very good. It is itta for us. So that which can be negated is artha. That is the meaning you give. Fine. Then what? Nacha badhitattvadeva mithyatvam iti vachyam brahmani jagataha abadhitatvena mithyatva bhava. Okay, now the Purva Bakshi is saying, if we say that, okay, we are very happy, badhitattvam, let it be artha. Okay. Because badhitattvam itself is mithya. We say that, in fact, that which is negated, wherever it appears, if it is negated there, then it is mithya only. Means no, you cannot say that he is saying. Why? Brahmani jagataha abadhitatvena. The jagat in Brahman does not get negated, they are saying. Therefore, jagat is not mithya. Mithyatva bhavat. Why? That is what they are claiming. Because they say that jagat is always there in Brahman as a whole. Even though something in jagat can be negated, jagat as a whole cannot be negated, is their vada. So the badhitattvam is not there for jagat. So jagataha abadhitatvena brahmani mithyatva is not there. Now what? We say now what? Neti neti iti shrutya badhitam jagaditi. So we are saying no. Neti neti shruti is there. Shruti itself negates the jagat, both murta and amurta. Okay, if you see where this neti neti appears, in Brihadaranyaka, before that there is a murta amurta brahmanam. All that is here, murtam and amurtam, tangible, intangible, everything is Brahman alone. Brahman is satyasya satyam. All these things are talked about, and then neti neti also is said two times. Two times can be taken as a vipsa also. Means for everything, it negates everything. When you repeat it, like even in Tamil and all, we have this prayoga, right? Gramam gramama pone, grame grame gachati. Also in Sanskritam also you can say that vipsa is there. If you repeat two times, then it is appears, it is actually, it applies to everything or every situation or always, something like that. So neti neti iti shrutya badhitam also you cannot say. Why? They have an argument. They are saying pralaya paratvat tat shrutehe. It is only saying that this world is not there in pralaya. Okay. So what is this new explanation? Let us see. So pralayehi bhuta bhautika visheshaha na santi. So in the pralaya, the mahabhutas, the elements, okay, and the elementals and all are not there. It has all become avyakta. So therefore, in the pralaya, it is not there. That's what is said. Not that it is not there always. In fact, they are always talking about this negation happening at the same time and same place and all that. Correct? This argument we have already seen. So they are bringing that same thing. What is that? Yasmin deshe, yasmin kale, yasya astitvam, tasmin deshe, tasmin kale, tasya abhavaha yadi tarhi tasya mithyatvam bhavati. So mithyatvam for them is what, like rope snake. They are saying the snake has to be negated at the same place and at the same time when you are seeing it, correct, on rope. In fact, here we argued that how can it be, because even the rope cognition cannot be there at the same time as snake cognition, correct? Once rope cognition comes, snake cognition has to go away. In fact, in the Vyavartamanatva section itself, we argued this is not possible and all that. But that same argument they are holding. They are saying it has to happen. A cognition can negate another cognition only if both the cognitions are there together. And one should be more powerful than the other, etc. This is their argument. Okay. But Jagat is not negated when it is there as Vyakti. Jagat is negated only in Pralaya when it has become Avyakta or whatever. Okay. Where the Mahabhutas and Bhautikas are all not there. And they are also giving this Rajju Sarpa itself as a example. He is saying Yatha Rajju Sarpadehe Jagatascha Prapancha Kale Sattvam Pralaye tu Abhavaha iti Kala Bhedat. Okay, so Kala Bheda, how it is there, they are saying. So, in fact, this Yatha Rajju Sarpadehe should be there before, I think. Mithyatvam Bhavati Yatha Rajju Sarpadehe. There they should break the sentence. Jagatascha, the Chakara means, here Chakara is but, in the meaning of but we have to take. But for the world, what he is saying, for Rajju Sarpa, they are claiming that the Rajju Jnanam and Sarpa Jnanam are there at the same time and at the same place. And the Rajju Jnanam is more powerful than Sarpa Jnanam, it negates that. That is their argument. But for Jagat, that does not happen, they are saying. So, and for the Jagat, what? Prapancha Kale, Sattvam, when the Prapancha is there now, Siddhi Kale and Sthiti Kala. Prapancha Kala is the Sthiti Kala we have to take. During the Prapancha Sthiti, it is there and it cannot be negated. But Pralaya, once it is gone into Pralaya, then it is not there. So the Neti Neti is only talking about Pralaya, but Pralaya is at a different time. It is not during Sthiti Kala. So Kala Bheda is there, they are saying. Even though in the Jagat may not be there during Pralaya, that's not a problem for us because it's not at the same time. Also, it is not at the same place also. Why? In fact, they are using the Purusha Sukta here because there is a Pado Osya Vishwa Bhutani Tripadasya Divi Tripadurdhau Dait Purushaha Pado Osyeha Bhavat Punaha Tato Vishwam Vyakramate and all that. So, Ekasmin Pade Jagat Sattvam Padantareshu Jagat Abhavaha Brahmanaha iti Desha Bhedacha na Mithyatvam iti che. Also, what? There is a Desha Bheda because Jagat is there in one pada of Brahman and the Neti is only negating the Jagat in the other three padas in which it is not there because Padosya Vishwa Bhutani, your Shruti itself is saying. So, in one pada where the world is there, it is there. It cannot be negated. The negation is happening only in a different place in Brahman. This is their argument. So, Desha Bheda also is there. Therefore, na mithyatvam iti. So, this is the entire argument. Therefore, it is not mithya. Because the negation is not happening at the same time and same place. So, Jagat is Satyam. Wonderful argument. Okay. If you say all this, what now we say, Ma evam, it's not in this manner, it's not correct. Why? Sampratipanna mithyatva मिथ्यात्ववत्यपि रज्जु सर्पे एककाल अवच्छेदेन भाव अभावयोः अभावात्. Okay, see, you say that Rajju Sarpa is mithya, even you are accepting it. That's why we are saying Sampratipanna Mithyattvavati Rajju Sarpe. So this Mithyatva for Rajju Sarpa is accepted by everybody. We are also agreeing, you are also agreeing. But then even there, Eka Kala Avachedena Bhava Abhavayoho Abhavat. So this argument we already made, as I told you. It cannot be Eka Kala. When you are seeing snake, you are only seeing snake, correct? And the Rajju cognition, when it comes, it is not at the same time. Once the Rajju cognition comes, snake cognition is not there. That is fine. But the snake cognition is replaced by the Rajju cognition. That's why we say it is Vyavartamanatvam is a hetu for Mithyatva and all that. So we don't accept that it is at the same time. Okay. So your argument is not correct. But then they don't accept what they are saying. No. Nacha tamo dhipa न्यायेन दर्शितेन भवति समकालत्वं रज्जुज्ञान सर्प nivrityoho iti vachyam. So what they are saying is, like darkness and light, they can be there at the same time. Okay, this is what they are saying. There, this argument was also already made, that darkness and light can be there together. They are saying, and but light overpowers darkness, etc. So they are there at the same time. But they are taking, then for that, what is the locus we have to define? They are saying, no, in a room you can have both darkness in one corner and light in another place and all. Samakalatva is there. And one is negating the other, or one is basically opposed to the other. Similarly, also we can say that the Rajju Jnana and Sarpa Jnana are there together, and then one overpowers the other. They even argue that a cognition is still lingering around and all that. Okay. Like that, there is an argument also. Each cognition lingers when the other cognition starts. Okay. Now we are not going to again argue with them. So what he is saying, okay, let us take that. You cannot really say that, but if you are saying that, what? We can go with accepting that also. Now we argue in a different manner. What? Tatha sati tenaiva nyayena brahma sakshatkara dvaita nivrityoho bhavati samakalatvam iti mithyaiva dvaitamiti. What we say now, okay, let it be. So what we now say is, what? The brahma sakshatkara, when it happens, dvaita nivritti happens, samakalatvam. And therefore dvaita is mithya. That is our argument now. Because brahma sakshatkara, brahma jnanam is what is the tatparya of the Upanishads, of the Vedanta. And brahma sakshatkara, when it takes place, that is powerful, and it negates the dvaitam. Therefore, and they are happening at the same time, let it be, we don't mind that. Therefore, dvaita is mithya. Mithyaiva dvaitam. Okay, if you say that, what they are saying now, Satyapi Brahma Sakshatkare na Dvaita Nivrittihi. Now they are coming to this point. What they are saying is, this Brahma Sakshatkara, even if it happens, people are seeing Dvaita. Dvaita perception is still there. Okay. Brahma Satyam iti Sakshatkara can be there, but that doesn't mean the Dvaita itself is not seen. Then who will teach whom, etc. Again, all that problem will come. Guru Sikshya Vyavahara, etc. So he is saying Brahma Sakshatkare Satyapi, even though Brahma Sakshatkara is there, Dvaita Nivrittihi na, Dvaita Nivritti is not there. Now, if he says that, what? Na Vachyam, you can't say that. Why? Sati Dvaita Darshane Katham Brahma Sakshatkaraha iti. Okay. Now, when the Dvaita Darshana is there, how can there be Brahma Sakshatkara? Further, what? Nata Brahma Darshana Dashayam Dvaita Darshana Abhavepi Dvaitam Asti Eva iti Vachyam. So what we are saying is, this Brahma Sakshatkara means, in that the Dvaita Satyatvam is completely gone. Okay. That's what we are saying. And what the Purva Pakshi is saying, assuming that Brahma Sakshatkara negates Dvaita Darshana also, because the Brahma Sakshatkara means I am not even a Drashta. The knowership itself goes away. So you cannot say that I am seeing Dvaita anymore. Really speaking, that is the standpoint in which first it is saying, it is said that Sati Dvaita Darshane Katam Brahma Sakshatkaraha. Okay. But then what? Purva Pakshi is saying, okay, during Brahma Sakshatkara, Dvaita Darshana is not there. I accept. But even if Dvaita is not seen, Dvaita is there, he is saying. Okay, this is like some kind of a Srishti Drishti Vada, we can say. Just because during Brahma Sakshatkara, Dvaita is not seen, like even in sleep, Dvaita is not seen. That doesn't mean it is not there. You get up and you see everything, correct? Or in Samadhi also, you don't see Dvaita. So this is the argument now. So, Nacha Brahma Darshana Dashayam Dvaita Darshana Abhavepi Dvaitam Asti Eva Iti Vachyam. So now he is saying Brahma Darshana Dashayam Dvaita Darshana Abhavepi, even though Dvaita is not seen or not there during Brahma Darshana Dasha, during the state of Brahma Darshana, but Dvaitam is still there, is their argument. Therefore, Dvaitam is Satyam. Means no, that also you can say. Why? Adrishyamana Dvaita Sattva Anabhyavagama. The Dvaita which is not seen, its Sattva cannot be accepted. Okay. Once we say this word, now they will come to Pratibhasika, Vyavaharika and all that. That is the argument now. So we are saying we don't accept the Sattvam of something which is not seen, which is not perceived. More than seen, we have to take it as through any indriya. That which cannot be perceived, how can you establish its existence? You have to know it. Okay. Once we say this, what? Nacha pratitikasya eva adrisyamana sattva anabhivagamaha iti vachyam. So now pratitikaha means what? The same, pratibhasika. So only for pratibhasika things like rope snake, etc., we say that if you don't see it, its satta is not there. But what about the real snake? Real snake, even if you don't see, it is there, correct? That is why it is vyavaha, it is there in the vyavahara, we say. So there is a difference between pratibhasika and vyavaharika. World is vyavaharika, therefore its satta has to be accepted even if you don't see the world during Brahmadasha. That is their argument. But what we say, what Jagataha api pratitikatva. But Jagat also is cognized. From a cognition standpoint, there is no difference between cognizing a rope snake and cognizing the world also. Cognition is the same, Drishyatvam is the same for us. So Pratitikatvam is there for both. Okay. Now what? Once you say this, what? Kincha, further what? Samahitasya samadho brahma sakshatkarat dvaita darshanam samadhyapagame dvaita darshanam iti astu katam punaha muktasya dvaita darshanam. Okay, so kincha what? Samahitasya samadho brahma sakshatkarat dvaita darshanam. So the one who has a mind which is resolved, okay, samahitasya samadho, in that samadhi, brahma sakshatkara also is there, because we say that he is already a mumukshu, jignasu, shravana mananadi you have done, and now this brahma sakshatkara, in that brahma sakshatkara dvaita darshanam, dvaitam is not seen. But samadhi apagame, once the samadhi is gone, what? Dvaita darshanam iti astu. So, but once the samadhi is gone, dvaita darshanam is there. Okay. Katam punaha muktasya dvaita darshanam. So therefore, how can there be dvaita darshanam for the mukta? Is the question they are asking. And therefore, what? Muktau api kadachit atma sakshatkaraha kadachit dvaita darshanam iti. So what they are saying, because of this, he can say that even for the one who is mukta, one who has had this Brahma Sakshatkara, Sakshatkara is there only for during some time. Other time they are seeing the Dvaita. So the perception of the Dvaita itself is its reality, etc. Now, we don't accept that in reality a mukta is seeing. This is where we have to see. Muktasya Dvaita Darshanam also is in Vyavahara only. It is again from the standpoint of Maya, Vidya. Therefore, here they are arguing that Muktas are also seeing Dvaita, but they are not seeing Dvaita as real, correct? That is the main point here. So, they cannot give this Dvaita Darshanam is a problem. So, Muktau api Dvaita Darshane sati Dukkha Sambhava. That's what we say. If the Mukta also sees Dvaita, and this whatever, but sometimes he doesn't see Dvaita, but sometimes he's seeing Dvaita, but the seeing Dvaita part is very important. How do you see the Dvaita? If you see the Dvaitam as also real, because it is appearing, then it will be Dukkha only, Dukkha Sambhava. Dukkha can be there. How can there be any Dukkha for the Mukta Purusha? Even they also talk about Moksha as Ananda only, correct? And Nityananda. So, once you say this word, they have a different argument. He is saying Muktau Drishyamanam Dvaitam Sukakarameva. For the Mukta Purusha, Dvaita is Sukakara, he is saying. Dvaita is Sukham. It cannot be Dukkha because he is a Mukta. Dvaita is Satyam. And even they may also say that, okay, but sometimes you don't see the Dvaita. But even if you don't see the Dvaita, once that whatever state where you don't see the Dvaita is gone, again when the Dvaita perception is there, then Dvaita is Satyam, but that Satya Dvaitam is no more Dukkakara. Dukkakara it is not, it is Sukhakara only. That is their argument. So Sukhakaram eva, the Dukkakaram iti, the Vachyam, you can't say that. Why? Kim Muktasya Sarvajñatvam Asti Utana. So now we are asking the Mukta is Sarvajña or not? Okay, if you say Mukta is Sarvajña, Adye, Tapatraya, Pidita, Jana Darshanasya, अनुभूत पूर्व दुःखम दुःख स्मरणस्य च कथम सुखकरत्वम. Okay, so if Mukta is Sarvajñah, then he is going to see the people who are suffering. He may not suffer, but he is seeing people suffering. Tapatraya Pidita Jana Darshana is there, even for the Mukta Purusha. Or the other thing is what? Anubhuta Purva Dukkha Smarana also is there. You yourself had dukkha that you have experienced and that you can recollect also. Both are there. When these two things being there, how can there be any sukha in Dvaita? Okay. If the other thing, if you say, no, no, he doesn't know all these things. He's not Sarvajña. Dvitiye what? Asarvajñasya katam muktatvam. If he is Asarvajña, how can he be a mukta? That is the point here. Because even yena vijnanena sarvam vijnatam bhavati and all that. That is also there. Sarvatma bhava and all we talk about. So, asarvajñasya katham muktatvam? This is the question. Now, if you say this what now they are saying evam sarvajñasya ishwarasvapi dukkha swabhavaha iti. Now, if we say that mukta has to be sarvajñaha and sarvajñaha will know the dukkha of everybody else, or sarvajñaha can know the dukkha of oneself which was there before and all that, then Ishvara also will become a dukkhi according to you. That is their argument now. Okay, if you say that what you can't say that. Why? त्वन्मतरीत्या तस्य तत्संभवस्य अस्माकं इष्टत्वा. So, in fact, if we go along with your mata, okay, and if Ishvara also becomes a dukkhi, it is okay, it is desirable for us. But our mata is not the same. Understand that? He is saying Manmata Ritya to Nirdharmaka Paramananda Bodha Rupaha Eva Jivaha Ishwarascha iti Katam Tasya Dvaita Darshanam Katam Va Tat Prayuktam Dukkham. So, but in our Mata, Ishvara Swarupa is Ananda Swarupa, correct? That is what we are saying. So, that Swarupa is what? Nirdharmaka. You don't have a Nirdharmaka Ishvara. Therefore, your Ishvara can be a Dukhi, in fact, will be a Dukhi. Because for that Ishvara, Dvaita is Satyam, Dvitiya Dvai Bhayam Bhavati. All these things are there. And anybody, even in Chandogya also, it is there, correct? Yatra Nanyat Pashyati, Nanyat Shrunoti, Tad Alpam and all that is there. If you see something other than yourself, then it is all Alpa. You become limited by that only. So anyway, it is only according to your mata. For us, Ishvara Swarupa and Jiva Swarupa also is the same. It is Nirdharmaka Paramananda Bodha Rupaha, and there, in that Bodha, there is no Dvaita Darshanam or anything. In reality, there is no Dvaita, in fact. Okay. Katam va tat prayuktam dukkam. Therefore, there cannot be any dukkha which is due to Dvaita. Nacha Maya avachinna chaitanyasya Ishwarasya avidya chaitanya jivasya cha bhavati dvaita darshanam iti vachyam ajnana kalpitatvat tat sarva vyavaharasya katham anyatha parameshwarasyapi Shri Ramasya Sita viyogadi dukkha anubhavaha. Okay. Now they are saying, okay, you people are saying Ishvara is Maya avachinna chaitanya and Jiva is avidya avachinna chaitanya, where Maya and avidya are upadhi, correct? But then even for them, as avachinna chaitanya, Dvaita darshanam is there. Therefore, they will all have only dukkha. You cannot say that. Why? This entire world is ajnana kalpita. Once it has become kalpita, it cannot give any dukkha or anything, correct? There is no satyatva buddhi there anymore. So we saying ajnana kalpitatvat tat sarva vyavaharasya. So entire vyavahara is only ajnana kalpita. Once we say this what, then they are saying, but how can then Sri Rama is Parameshwara, Avatara, but when he separated from Sita, Sita Viyogadi, Dukkha Anubhavaha, we see in Ramayana. In fact, Rama goes and cries. He even asks trees and all that, where is my Sita? I cannot live without her. He wants to commit suicide and all that, like that. So you can read that portion in Ramayana. So there is intense dukkha. Rama also had. Okay. And if you say that everything Dvaita and all is real, then Sri Rama's dukkha also will become real. Correct? Then Rama's dukkha will be real dukkha for you. But that even they cannot accept that. Correct? They also have to say, no, no, Rama is only doing drama there. In reality, Rama is Narayana. But only he is because of this whatever Manushya Upadhi Tadritya. In keeping with the Manushyatva, Rama is showing as though he is having dukkha and all that. Correct? It's not real dukkha. Like that. The same thing applies to the Jnani and Ishvara and all that. Correct? Unless you say that it is not real, they can also account for all this Rama's story. Rama having real dukkha, then it will become for them. That is the problem. Correct? For us, it's not a problem. So, this is the argument here. Okay, some more is there, I think. I thought I'll finish this section today. We cannot. Okay. We'll see that in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।
धन्यवाद।